Full Grenadiers suffering heavy casualties, and here I make a mistake. I go once for Inspired Assault, remembering that in Company Affairs Online it can break suppression, so I think, oh, why not? And of course it doesn't work, so like that. So instead I end up getting my men slaughtered. So good hint for you, don't use your Inspired Assault like that. That's pretty foolish. And my men of course pay the price. My medical bunker still providing a slow trickle of grenadiers to replenish my ranks, certainly a boon, and certainly also something the American have used, for example, a medical station there, so he wouldn't have suffered so previously and would have been able to keep up the steam much longer, but apparently he did not go for that. Full Grenadiers moving in with MP40s, cutting down the riflemen, mortar fire raining dangerously close, and still hitting my own men, but then again that might actually be the American mortar for once. But the Full Grenadiers are forced to retreat, perhaps the Grenadiers moving in instead. Panzer IV now moving in, the anti-tank gun has been cleared out, and now the Panzer IV is clearing out the rest of this in the east. Riflemen trying to seize the central victory point or the bridge point. Grenadiers moving in to rather deny them that attempt. And what is this? A final Sherman, it looks like, from the Americans. And the Veteran C2 rifleman team is wiped out. Now we see Grenadiers moving in, and the Panzer IV taking up a slightly more proper direction to meet any enemy assaults. And we see the Sherman IV leading up towards it, and apparently forgetting that there is a King Tiger. Not really the thing you want to forget. If your enemy has a King Tiger, you really want to remember where it is and plan accordingly, as the King Tiger can be quite the threat. Already half down on the Sherman riflemen trying to move up, probably going to try and sticky bomb it. But they're going to meet a lot of heavy fire from the King Tiger, and might even, yes indeed, take fire from the MG42 in the bunker. And the riflemen are now suppressed and under fire from the King Tiger, and now mortar fire as well. Certainly a party for those riflemen. Sherman ignoring this and going directly for my positions, aiming for the mortar team, causing some losses in fact. MG42 and Full Grenadiers moving in. Perhaps might fire off a Panzerfaust on the Sherman. Yes indeed, going to do a bit of damage. Not a lot in fact, but enough to damage the engine and make it a easier target. Strafing run going off, only suppressing the Full Grenadiers this time, but currently holding all 3 points. And I still hold the majority of the forces, I do believe. And we see another Sherman rushing for the east zone. That was not the final Sherman. And we see the Panzer IV going to be holding off against the Sherman with a improved gun. Might not end well for my Panzer IV. First shot deflecting on the Sherman. And the Sherman on the other hand penetrating. Again penetrated hit, but exposing the rear to the Panzer IV. Bad move, bad move. Panzer IV certainly taking the advantage, and King Tiger moving in. Airborne caught out in the open and killed by the King Tiger, which is now 8 kills to its name. Panzer IV pulling back. And we see the Sherman holding the eastern point, but there's actually nothing to capture this territory, since there's no infantry support. In fact, he only has 1 infantry team left, except the engineers, who are desperately trying to repair this Sherman 4 M4. Why on earth do I want to call them Panzer IVs? I don't know. Anyways, besides that, the American player has been sufficiently crippled at this moment, it seems. And I don't think there's much he can do, in fact, and I'm once more falling upon his forces, going for the Sherman and the only rifleman team he has left, trying to seize this victory point and stop the countdown for him. Pioneers moving in with their recoilless rifles to offer a little of anti-tank support. Assuming assault positions, and now we see the attack going in. Recoilless rifle not firing off the Pioneer, being blown up, but now One shot going off, and the Panzer IV moving in as well. Heavily battered, but still fighting on. Going to risk the danger of the Sherman with the 76mm high velocity gun. Pack moving in. Oh, 57mm anti-tank gun. In fact, scavenging enemy weapons, and the Pioneers gain another tank kill. Panzer Nacker Pioneers, it would seem, going beyond the call of duty and wrecking Sherman tanks with their own weaponry. Devious. Quite devious, and now the Fulls Grenadiers and Grenadiers are seizing cover in this building and doing a lot of nasty damage to the riflemen outside. Pineapple Grenade going in. Not doing a lot of damage though. And these looks like this rifleman is going to be killed. Airborne trying to seize the central victory point. Sherman out in the open taking heavy fire from the King Tiger. Airborne now also taking fire from this little bunker. I decided to place up to try and cover this point as well, thus freeing up further men. And we see the Airborne taking heavy damage, and the Sherman knocked out by the King Tiger. And we see an accusation of fucking hack before my opponent leaves in anger. Not entirely what sort of hack I was supposed to use, unless using strategy and tactics is cheating. Oh yes, Knight's Cross holders. Rare I used them, but I thought, why not? So then, what to learn from this match? Well, for starters, trying to establish where you want to hold and defend for the start can be a quite nice feature and allow you to at least shore up your defenses. Not constantly staying on the defensive, also good. Of course, if forced to, you should, but try and take the fight to the enemy. Of course, that did force him to move his men otherwise, and lighten up his attacks as well. On the bad side of things, don't rush in armor unsupported. Use infantry and tanks together, and when he did, he actually did quite well over here. But of course, at the same time, don't ignore the King Tiger. If you know where it is, prepare for it. And if you actually know about, again, some M10s, don't expect your Sherman to deal with it. The Sherman was never meant to deal with tanks, and even with the upgrade, it wasn't really going to stand up to heavy armor of the German sort. Also to note, you don't necessarily have to use mortars to blow up stuff. You could also, for example, just use them to provide smoke cover so your engineers can repair a bridge in peace. So that's of course a fun fact, and I hope you enjoyed this video cast, and if you did, why not subscribe? This is ImperialDane saying, Tiger reporting, target is no more.